welcome back to my channel. So today I have a review and a wear test on the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Foundation. So my initial first impressions on this foundation, it does come in the frosted glass. It feels very nice, and then the cap, it has like this velvety matte finish, but hopefully you can see this on camera. It has like tiger stripes on it. Like, it's a small detail, but I think it's pretty. It's like a black and deep red burgundy tiger stripe. I purchased the color 2C1, and this foundation is 1 fluid ounce. That is the standard foundation size. And this foundation cost $48. So what it says about this foundation is, it says, Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. Laura's longest wearing foundation seamlessly fuses to skin with weightless layer that looks, fits, and feels like a second skin. Moving with your every move, skin enhancing pigments fuse with ultra longwear for our most modern flawless medium to full coverage that's naturally you, leaves a matte finish that's never dull or flat. The technique: apply to clean skin with Laura's foundation sponge or use fingertips. For best results, use with your preferred Laura Mercier foundation primer. Let's see if it says anything else online. Full medium coverage, skin type sensitive, normal, dry, combination oily, finish is matte. Suggested usage. This is all from Sephora's website, or actually the app. So it says dispense a small amount onto the back of your hand and apply to face with Laura's egg-shaped sponge or fingertips. For fuller coverage, use a brush. For best results, use after your preferred Laura Mercier foundation primer. Tip: for the most flawless natural look, Laura says the key is to avoid over-applying foundation to the middle of the face, where too much formula can accentuate lines and other imperfections. With liquid, cream, or powder formulas, she recommends starting at the outer portion of the face and working inward towards the nose. Focus on one area at a time and be sure to blend well. Avoid excess application around eyes or contours of the face. Repeat application until desired coverage is achieved. Remember, use the foundation to even out your skin tone. Use concealer to camouflage imperfection. Well, there we go. That could have been where I went wrong with the first time that I wore this foundation. I wore this foundation a couple of days ago to work, and it was actually my short day of work, and I want to say I had it on for a total of 10 hours. I used, what primer did I use? I can't remember what primer it was that I used, but by the end of the day, like, this section of my face was so pory looking. You could see all my pores. They looked like craters, and then it was like orangey and patchy looking, and looked like I could literally take my fingers and just like flick off product, which was so just like goopy and cakey and yucky. So maybe that was why. Maybe I applied too much in this area. It is a water-based foundation, but let's see, alcohol is the 5th ingredient, so there's that to consider. Alcohol is drying, but I wanted to give this foundation another shot, and I wanted to film it, and this time I did use the Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer, which you'll hear at the end of the video what my thoughts on that are. Alright, so that is all my thoughts on the foundation. At this point, I'm going to jump you into earlier today when I first initially applied this foundation, and you'll see how I applied it, and you'll hear all my thoughts after the application when I check in for my wear test. So, I will see you all in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to start out by prepping my face with the Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer. I'm just going to do 1 pump. This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Longwear Foundation. When I got this at Ulta, or at Ulta. I got it at Sephora. It claimed that it was long wear matte foundation that was also transfer resistant. So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna apply the right side of my face with a beauty blender and the left side of my face using my Clarisonic makeup brush. So here is my damp Morphe sponge. Also, I want to say like the pumps on this are really small. Like that's 3 pumps of this foundation, and that kind of almost seems like a pump and a half of some of my other foundations. All right. Alright, so I'm going to zoom you in and we can look close up at the skin and see what's going on. Ooh, it looks really pretty and flawless. But like I always say, I feel like most foundations when you first apply them look really pretty flawless. So, and both sides look like they applied really nicely as well. Like honestly, the only difference between application that I can see is that the Clarisonic side doesn't get the side of like the crease of my nose as well as a damp sponge does. So I'm just gonna tap that out real quick. But besides that, they both look really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. All right, you guys, so my face is totally done. So let's go ahead. We're gonna zoom in and see what's going on. I went for more cool tones today. I don't usually do that. I'm more of a warm tone person, but I'm kind of digging it. So right off the bat, my face just looks really flawless. I mean, I powdered it, but it definitely dried down to like a powdery finish. It's holding up well. Everywhere all the products went on really nice and pretty and smooth. This is what we look like, and then I will see you later on today. Hey guys, so this foundation has been on for 7, almost 8 hours. Is just after 1 a.m. So let's go ahead and zoom on in and see what's going on. I'm already in my nightshirt because I'm ready to go to bed. Okay, so at first look, you can definitely see I have quite a lot of oil coming through right here, like this area right here on my face. Right now in person looks like a mirror. Like you could probably see your reflection looking at me right now if you're standing in front of me. I've definitely gotten a little oily here under my eyes. It's come through on the tip of my nose, a little bit on my chin, not a ton. But aside from the oiliness, it has stayed in place pretty well. It's creased a little bit around my nose. So all in all, I'd have to say it looks pretty good, but for only 8 hours, like almost 8 hours, I would expect it to look not quite as oily given the price point. So let's go ahead and touch up and just see how we're looking. I am currently out of my rice paper, so we're just gonna use these oil absorbing sheets from Equate. They're the dupe for the Clean and Clear oil absorbing sheet. So there is my forehead sheet. So far I do not see any product coming off on it. Let's go for the rest of the face. And here is the rest of my face. And I see quite a bit of foundation on this piece. Okay, all in all, right now it actually touched up and looks really good right now. that took away all the oils. It has not separated. It has worn off a little bit on my forehead, like right here. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I've got some patches there. So now I want to touch up using my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. I'm just going to use my Morphe E41 brush as always and just kind of powder on top. Okay, and after touching up with powder, it does look really pretty, just minus this situation. I don't know if I was like touching my forehead or a lot, or what that situation was, but like on my chin, it looks really good. Around my nose, it looks really good. Yeah, I am impressed. Okay, so all in all, I am pretty impressed with how well that this one wore. I will say though, this was not a first impression of this foundation. I have worn this before, and when I wore it before, I wore it with a different primer. It was like super like greasy and cakey looking. Like it just did not look good. It looked like I could take my finger and go like this and wipe everything off. But this time, I mean, this is a new primer to me. This is the Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer. If you watch Nikia Joy, which if you have oily skin, you should totally watch her. She's awesome with oily skin reviews, but this is a primer that she always swears by, and I have just like put off purchasing this primer because it was $45 or $48. I can't remember exactly. She raves about this primer. It says it minimizes the look of pores, absorbs oil, and mattifies skin, which based on this wear test compared to how this wore the other day when I wore it, I might have to say it is the primer. So I will be curious to see how it wears like a full like 12-hour day with this primer. So, because I know without that primer, it just didn't really cut it, and I was almost ready to take it back. But I really wanted to do a review on it and just see, and my opinions on it are a lot different than they were the first time. So based off the way my skin looks like right now, I am really impressed. I really like the way that it looks. Right now, this is a contender for being a top shelf foundation for me. I still have a couple more that I really want to test out and do some reviews on until I find a new holy grail. So I think that is it for this wear test. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like these videos, give this video a big ol' thumbs up. If you have any foundations that you want me to try out on my combo to oily skin, go ahead and leave those down below in the comment section. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up, leave any other comments, requests, questions, anything down below, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.
This always makes me sneeze.